Okay, so here we are with the engine out. Had to do a little voiceover work just because in the shop we got some music playing and I want to get a strike from YouTube. So right there you can see the failure point. The front cover's broken. We weren't allowed or weren't able to turn the engine over while it was in the truck. So we thought it was locked up, but actually once we got it out and got the serpentine belt off, it spun around, which is really surprising because we'll see later some more damage in there. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, front cover is a failure point for now. And like I said, you'll see what happened a little bit further down the video. Here we've got injectors. I didn't know this was such a problem though. The injector hold downs on the early models are such garbage, they just break. I don't know if they're just a sheet metal or something or another, but almost all of them were broken and all of the injector bolts were stuck inside of they either broke off in the head or they broke off because they were seized to the valve cover. So one of the two, but it was rough getting it off. And you can just see the gravity of the situation with the rust on this thing. So we're looking at a full new fuel system basically. I mean, besides just the lines and rails is really all we'll need. We don't need return lines because I think I actually ended up getting the return lines off all in one piece.
What if I don't want to meet the people?
Well, that's too goddamn bad, Sean. Okay, everybody out there, Sean, Untouchable Auto and Diesel.
Hey,
What does your maroon one make? I was telling him.
I gotta get back together.
Okay, well, it's gonna make like 1,400 fuel only, right? Give or take 20 horse.
With nitrous, for sure.
Okay.
We'll run it until it throws the rods.
Do you have Carrillo or Wagglers?
Wiggler.
Okay. So again, about the heads, these flow more. You were saying, what was it?
Yeah, these flow more than a ported. I mean, from right from the box, right from Ford, these flow more than most 6.4 and 6 liter ported heads. There's not. I mean, there's some CNC programs out here for porting heads. My heads were ported by Josh Davis at River City Diesel. The ones we're gonna do on his truck, we're gonna do our own in-house port. Also the conical springs and a couple of little tricks.
So if they're already flow like pretty decent, and then you port them, what are we talking?
We're gonna clean them up, see what can be done on them. Get the air in and out as fast as possible.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know, less resistance, more power. We'll see what it does. But yeah,
Okay.
this rusty crud.
We got to get back at it.
Yeah.
So this is what you'd call a high flow oil gallery pump. It's a ram forced oil pump. So that got that down there. That might be the part of the problem too. How the fuck that happens, I don't know. I'll have to ask Sean.
We end up finding out how it happened. But like I said, we'll stick around to the latter part of the video to see that because it's pretty wild. Yep, finally got the harness off. You can see both wiring harnesses. I think there's two. I can't remember now. Doing this a little bit, a couple weeks after, actually, or I think a week. Here again, looking at just the carnage that this thing looks like it's been through. Yeah, rough scene with this one, but good thing is we'll have basically all new stuff going in, so it'll look nice.
Also, if you are, a little quick tip for the fuel return lines. Oh, I didn't get that one yet, so I'll just show you this one. So when it sits on there, it's nice and flush like that. All you gotta do, put something on there, put a pliers on there, on the top like this, oops, over here. Come on, John. And when you pull up on here, it'll separate, and then it'll just come right off. Let's see if I can do one live for you. Yeah, just like that. I hit the fucking phone though, of course. Let's do this one. Last one. Cut. Cut that. Kind of. Probably a little shaky, but you get it. Bitch. Another piece of useful knowledge is on the, I think it's 11 through 14, before they changed the CP4, there's, if you're trying to take out a good CP4, there's threaded holes here that you can use like a gear puller on. I think it's when they changed it, like on that black 17 Platinum that we had, these were not there. It was just a straight up gear, so you can't, it's difficult to pull these out on the newer trucks because if you want to save it. But like for this one, all we'll do, and I've done this on a different video where I probably shouldn't have, but whatever, is give her the old tap right on the nut there. I gotta still undo the back stuff, but this will just be a core CP4 for us because we got that modified one already. So keep that actually. Like, just look down here. I was just down here with the back of the, getting that third bolt out like that at the bottom of the CP4, and it pushed the head of this, and there was shit just caked. Like, Jesus Christ. So okay, we got the three off. So like I was saying, just give her the old. Now she's pretty loose. Yep, loose. So I gotta take the nut the rest of the way off. There we go. Oh, don't lose that. There it is. Boom, there we go. I'm really bad at filming while I do shit. I never have done this before. Alright. Pop that over there. Boom. So actually, after that day, trying to film while I was doing shit, I ended up just going and buying a tripod, which we started using at the end of this video too. So made it a lot easier to do shit. But these injectors are all going back as cores. Sending them back to Darren at Coastal Diesel. And performance, we got 60 overs going in. Should give us a nice nice flow. Not have to turn the pulse width up so much on the stock injectors and get a little bit of spray pattern. Just looking at valve cover bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think there's 18. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah. And then the 4 in the middle. 18. And actually, I think I got all those off, actually. Okay. Well, the first thing we should look at is, it's kind of hard to see the hold down. So that hold down is still there, and I can't get it out of here, so somehow it's seized in there. But so that means the injector is stuck in there. But fuck them, we can do shit. So these are valve. This is an oil gallery for valve cooling, I guess. I don't know how it works. I don't see any like jets or anything. Pretty cool though. So right now I'm just gonna take out the glow plugs quick and the rocker arms. First the oil feed tube.
A lot of guys say, I think it's about, I know, 6.4s and 6 liters, about breaking rocker arms and shit, but I don't think I've ever heard of it happening on 6.7s. That's a T45, and then it's held on underneath the oil gallery rail. There's a 13 mil.
Guys, we rounded a head bolt off. Talking to people.
There's not a fucking straight edge in this fucking
What?
head. I said there's not a fucking straight edge in this fucking head.
What, to set it on? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Like, that's fucking rounded. That's fucking rounded.
No, yeah. The only way you can find a flat spot is just set on the fucking valves. Who gives a shit? We're going to send him back to Ford anyway. I found those.
Where those things go?
Yeah. Or one of them at least is down here. They should be just sitting in the bottom of this gallery.
There's one that you pulled
There's a
out.
missing. There's a missing one.
Well, didn't you pull one out?
Yeah, I got 3 over there.
Oh, there it is. It's
There's
right there.
one. I'm just missing the other one from over there. But like I said, it's probably at the bottom of the fucking thing.
You really think?
We'll find it at some point.
So driver's side head is off. I had a real bitch of a time with the injector hold downs on the passenger side. They would not work free.
So we're relieving it. Having trouble getting this valve cover off.
Here we're just taking a look at the extent of the rust and the... Seemed like we found some like sand or something. I'm not really sure what it was. But yeah, you can see how rough a shape this thing's in. And we have to get new engine mounts, motor mounts, because they changed the style up, so those ones won't work anyway. A little worse for the wear regardless. So, but yeah, this is that sand I was talking about. I don't really know where it came from or what it's doing in there, or what it even is. It really seems like sand, but maybe since this was a plow truck they were using, I mean, some of the counties around here use sand for sand salt mixture for putting down on roads. But yeah, so I ended up just taking a sledge to this valve cover, hitting it upside the intake up there on top of the screen right now, and it ended up coming off, broken obviously, just because of how seized the injector hold down was in there. But those valve covers were in poor shape anyway, so I'm gonna get something else. As you can see, 4 push rods, 1 per each valve, which is a pretty cool design. I think that's like a NASCAR thing. It's not even it's kind of, I don't think it's a common thing to put in a diesel. I'm pretty sure it's not. although my diesel experience is pretty limited, but and the lifters are far more substantial. I don't think I have a picture of any of the lifters in here, which is unfortunate, but they're easy to find out either a picture of, or I can put them in the next video or something. But yeah, just it's the last of them there. We're going to replace those two. We'll put some HD push rods in. I don't think they're really that expensive. Sure, just a different material. Same design, different material. Use more strength, rigidity. You can't not have a shot of loosening all the head bolts. Injector. I'm talking so much about the injector hold downs that, yeah, head bolts. We'll use ARPs going back in. And that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, unfortunately I didn't have that tripod until later, but the only thing left I got to do is motor mounts, upper and the oil pan, and then the flex plate. And just grabbing the motor mounts, obviously, which didn't actually need to do.
Devastating news today. I found out that the short block that Ford sent is the second generation, so same as we had in that black truck. It's aluminum piston, which is fine, and the second gen connecting rods and wrist pin. Now, I believe that based on looking at it, and from Dan, holy shit, this is hard to see, Dan at SPE, watching his video, or whoever it was, but he was doing it, tear apart that 2020 with the steel piston and the longer rod, because of the different piston design. It looks stronger to me. It measures in thicker. Same material, I'm assuming, or pretty sure. But yeah. So finding that out, I'm pretty sure we will not be able to make anywhere over 850 horse. I think anything in the low 8s would maybe be pushing it for those rods, especially with a compound setup where you're going to have more back pressure. Maybe if I stripped down and just went to that single valley charger, that'd reduce our drive pressure. But either way, after talking with Sean about it, and all the high horsepower Fords on the road right now are like the other, 6.4s and 6 liters. They're all aluminum piston anyway. So I don't know what made me think that the steel piston was so great, but the wrist pin that's in that steel piston is super thick. If you haven't seen a visual, I'll either put one here. If I don't, sorry, go back to a video of mine. It's called How to Make 750 Horse. And in there, I go to Dan's video where he shows the 3 connecting rods, 3 pistons, Gen 1, 2, and 3, and lays them out, measures them all, and kind of walks you through everything that's changed, so you can see what I'm talking about. But I think before the wrist pin would fail anyway, before the wrist pin would fail, the connecting rod would fail. As far as stock stuff goes, probably in general. So yeah, I don't. My first video said 900, which I'll probably go and just change that to 800 horsepower, because I just don't think we'll be able to make as much power as we thought we were going to be able to. Definitely not going to put a dual fueler on it. Don't need. Yeah, 60 over injectors are plenty. It's actually probably more than we need. But Yeah. It's a work truck. It's going to be a work truck. I just got to keep convincing myself, or not convincing, I just got to tell myself. It's a work truck. That's what it's for. It's just for daily driving and shit. We'll build something high horsepower, something else. I mean, now we'll have a cool Ford. Yeah, it'll still be cool. It'll still be, I mean, I always keep thinking like 700 horse. Oh, wow, that's not much. But that's, almost double. If we prefer the high sevens, that's almost double the factory output. So it's nothing to be ashamed of, I guess. Just not what we were going for. But I gotta focus on the road here. It's fucking. That's what we're dealing with. So let's sign off. We'll see you in a bit for the last of the teardown video.
It's time to cosplay as a person who has their shit together.
Holy shit. Look at all this metal down here. There's literally metal everywhere. That's wild. This is like there's a gasket on this. I don't know why the new ones didn't. I don't think the new ones had gaskets on them. I like that design way better.
So that's an unruly amount of metal in the pan, and which I didn't film it. It was all in the upper pan too. Kind of fell onto the. God, I can't remember the name now. It's that thing that like takes some of the oil off of the crankshaft. It sits right at the bottom of the, or right at the very top of the upper pan. Can't remember what it's called. Or I probably never knew what it was called, but so here we're just looking at bottom end, obviously. It sure is the 11 through 14. I ended up taking a rod out, where I think that's coming up next here, but yeah, boy, that's those are skinny rods. I ended up cranking it over here a little bit, and which will reveal. I wonder if you can't see it there. Okay, I thought maybe you could see it there, but you can't quite make it out. So I think next time just taking out a rod and taking a look at that. But maybe front cover. Yeah, I'm taking the front cover off just to. Well, you'll see why I'm taking the front cover off. End up stabbing myself with a little shaving of aluminum front housing. That thing was bleeding. Like I said, I didn't stab that far into my hand, but it got me right in the cuticle. And that thing was just bleeding like a sieve. So all the 10 mil bolts at the front here. I wanted to crack them all loose by hand just because I didn't want to strip anything. But just trying to get after that stuck injector, I got to send all them back. So I had to get that out. Just shoved that broken piece of the hold down through the front cover or the valve cover, and just let it fall into the motor. So who gives a shit? Ford can have that back. So here is what we found. If you look where it's illuminated, you should be able to see it here in a sec. I think I start rotating I'm turning it over. and I've got some more shots coming up too, but the crankshaft broke right behind 1 and 2, cylinders 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure they're 1 and 2. I would imagine they're 1 and 2 because they go 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm assuming. But yeah, there you go. So what we ended up seeing is the crankshaft broke because the bearing on cap 1, main bearing on cap number 1, was pretty much just fully destroyed. So the theory we have now is oil contamination or just running low on oil or something ended up destroying that bearing pretty good. And it threw off the angle or something of the front part of the crankshaft where the gear is in the oil pump, and that took out the front cover just by being off by just a smidge. I don't know. I mean, let me know what you guys think, because that bearing's super fucked up there, and we pull it all out so you can kind of get a better look at it, but that's our theory for now. Because all them bearings, or that front bearing was in rough shape. There's material all throughout the engine.
Those will be ready for higher horsepower stuff too, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
What do you got?
Straight fuck. I should probably be wearing gloves. Pretty sharp as shit.
Yeah, I got something in my right to the top of my cubicle
Oh
thing there.
fuck. Yeah, do
Like,
not get.
like a sieve.
Don't. When I worked at Badger, there was a guy that. Oh yeah, look at that. Guy Gary. I don't know if he's still alive or not. He's a goofy little bastard. We used to call him Diesel Weasel or whatever, Weasel Diesel.
Yeah.
Cool guy, but he ended up picking himself, like in the side right here. Something he was taking out an O-ring, and he got something in his fucking hand, and they had damn near cut off his thumb.
Jesus.
Polish it up, buff it right up.
Yeah. Look at that on the. That's not supposed to look like that, is it?
No, it's not supposed to look like this, John. Not at all.
That's kind of cool to see how the
Oil?
Yeah, I've never seen that. How it, I obviously it goes through there, but it's you just drill a fucking pilot hole in there.
Little wormhole.
Pretty cool, pretty fucked.
Yeah. Whoever did it right. I'm surprised they were able to crank the engine over to get the bells and bolts out. Now it's jammed off. Not really, because
How did that even happen? How were we able to turn it? And now and then I feel like we would have been.
That was the day we should have bought a lottery ticket. Somebody on your forum's gonna be like, "That's a fucking Duramax cam," but yes, it is. But it's the same principle, You start, really driving these things, boosting them up. Factory's got a little
piece of shit.
Well, I mean, it's great for factory application, but look what it's designed. It's meant for 400 horse.
Yeah.
You're doubling that, or you're adding 50% more.
Yep.
You're going to have your weak points. So that's, you get to a certain point, and you got to cut a keyway, get an upgrade cam. That just has the keyway cut rate in there. It's, you're probably.
And you can use the factory gear on that.
Yes.
Just because it's the same.
Correct. Use the factory gear on there. But if you look at the surface,
it's a lot more robust.
Yeah, look at the surface area. Your point of
Yeah.
contact is so much. It's just better.
Yeah.
It's just better. So that that will end up happening. You get way up there in power. That'll do it to that too.
Yeah.
The best way I could say is what my grandpa used to say: cheapest thing to do to keep your vehicle running longest is changing the fucking oil.
Maintenance. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it. Just putting the front cover back on. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. The failure point was, it's probably oil contamination of some sort, but how it all happened, the sequence of events, that's what I'm interested in. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one for the engine build video.